Well, Pat, you're in the hot seat, and we got some good questions for you today.
Let's go answer a few questions.
All right. Rhonda, I think I'm saying that right. She says, I own several rental properties. I feel that it is wrong for me to rent to unmarried couples. There are so many that are not married today, and this makes it very difficult. I know there are many discrimination laws, and I diligently work around them. I feel that the Lord has made a way for me to have these properties, and I'm trying to honor him by putting him first and obeying his will. Am I being a fanatic?
I don't think so. The Bible says whatever is not of faith is sin, and you feel wrongly about encouraging unmarried couples to cohabit. You know, there was a time that you couldn't get a room in a hotel with a woman, man or woman, if they weren't married. They would ask for a marriage license or some evidence of marriage. That was 30, 40 years ago,
Yeah.
But now it's everything goes. But I think if you're holding fast to your beliefs, that's fine. No, you're not being a fanatic, all right?
All right, this viewer says, do you believe we are living in the last days? If so, what do you recommend to a young follower of God who wants to be ready for Jesus' return?
The Bible says, occupy till I come. That means get out and do his work, do his bidding. You remember the story of that steward? His master went on a trip, and he started to get drunk and beat the servants. And the Lord said, the one that will be honored is the one that is looking after his household. So you're to feed the sheep, feed his people, look after his people. That's what you need to do. You don't need to go off in some cave or sit on a mountain or do a disaster prep or any of that stuff. What you need to do is to continue to lead people to Jesus Christ. That's what he wants you to be doing in preparation for his coming, because he wants to fill up heaven. All right?
Amen. This viewer writes, are Christians considered to be sinners saved by grace or righteous people that are no longer under the law?
You know, don't waste your time on semantic nonsense. I mean, we are sinners saved by grace. Of course we are. Then once you come to the Lord, you are righteous in him. You're called saints, the saints of God, because God makes you holy. And
so both of them are right.
They're both right, but they're different phases. I mean, don't worry about it. Okay.
Esther writes, when we pass on, do we know that we're dead? Wherever our soul is, do we know that we're no longer here on earth? Can we see our loved ones? My grandkids asked, and I don't know how to explain it to them.
Well, get the story about Lazarus and the rich man. And the rich man, Lazarus died, and he was carried by the angels to Abraham's bosom. The rich man died, and he woke up in hell. And he looked, and he saw Abraham and Lazarus, he saw Lazarus in what was called Abraham's bosom, and he said, Father Abraham, do me a favor, let me Lazarus just touch my tongue with some water. I'm tormented in this flame. And he said, let me go back and talk to my brothers. He was totally aware of who he was. He was totally aware of the fact he was dead. He was totally aware that he was suffering. He was totally aware that Lazarus, who'd been suffering as a beggar, was now in heaven enjoying the good thing. He knew it all. Okay?
All right, good answer. Well, Chris writes, excuse me, my wife and I disagree about tithing. She agrees to go along with me tithing the net. I have heard several different ideas on this. If I can get her to agree to the net tithe, do you think God still blesses it? When I give, she gets upset, and then I feel like I might just have kept it in my pocket. I will add that she used to be totally against tithing, and now she is open to the net tithe. What are your thoughts?
Well, my thought is it's the rightness of the Bible that says don't be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. What fellowship has Christ with Belial? You marry somebody who's not a believer, you're going to be fighting about stuff like this all the time. How come you're wasting our money with that bunch of hypocrites down at that church? I mean, you know, that's what they say. And you don't need that. So seeking a mate, find somebody who loves the Lord, and you together go through life together. But in terms of your wife, you know, if you're the head of the household, you're supposed to be, don't be quibbling on whether it's the net or the gross. I mean, it depends on your financial situation. But I think God isn't, he's not a Philadelphia lawyer, and he's not some green eyeshade bookkeeper. He's God Almighty, and he wants your love. That's what you're giving. That's what a tithe is. You're giving him an evidence of your love.